Hey guys, Delt here. Battle Drum Bard is quickly becoming my favorite way to play this class in solos. It's a little less forgiving than the survival bow, but it does a ton of damage when you hit your shots or throws, depending on how you want to say it. Because of that, I wanted to pass along my perks and songs, and then I'll voice over a game that went very well. The game recorded is an Apprentice 2, so it's a fairly low level lobby, but regardless, it does show off the fundamentals of how you'll need to play. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, please just give me a like or comment on this video or subscribe to the channel. Anything and everything helps, and I appreciate all of you guys so much. So first off, we have our perks and skills. Charismatic Performance is always a must take regardless of your bard build, because skipping 1 or 2 notes just lets you play your songs that much faster. Storyteller is a great perk, but honestly this one is probably the flex pick. I just take it because I like having the 6 songs that I always take, and we will go over those later. But the added 3 knowledge lets us go over our memory capacity by 3. Superior Dexterity lets us swap our crossbow, drums, flute, and weapon all faster. In all reality, the best thing it's doing for us is swapping to our crossbow quickly though. And our last perk is Reinforced Instruments. This is what lets our drums hit hard. For skills, just take both memory capacities because we'll have 6 songs. As far as bard songs go in solo, you want as many buffs as you can to make yourself stronger. These 4 songs on the right slot are my constant buffs, and these are things we need to make sure we have up all the time. The first is Rousing Rhythms, which gives us +2 all. Along with Storyteller, we're getting +5 knowledge, which actually lets us overcap our songs by 5. Not to mention that this also increases our damage, health, move speed, basically everything that we need. Beats of Alacrity increases our move speed by more. It should be 9 all the time as long as we get a good performance, since we have Charismatic Performance. Ballad of Courage increases our physical power. More damage is always great. And Aria of Alacrity increases our action speed. This is how fast we swing our weapons, shoot our bows, or reload our crossbows. My left wheel is my debuffs, or my situational songs. Shriek of Weakness is one I almost always take now, but it can honestly be flexed for other songs. I didn't always take it. The affected person will have reduced armor and physical power. My last song that I usually take is Lament of Languor to reduce an enemy's speed and to keep sprinting fighters and barbarians away. If I do get 1 more knowledge from my gear, I usually swap this for Accelerando to increase my own movement speed. And if I get more knowledge, then I'll just take both. Honorable mentions would be Allegro, although this feels best with the rapier, Din of Darkness or Piercing Strill to unstealth enemy rogues, or Tranquility if you're doing a budget run and not bringing any heals. I wouldn't bring Harmonic Shield unless you're playing in a team or you have a lot of dexterity, just because there is a very long cast time. If you're wondering about stats, that's honestly really a mix-up. Strength, vigor, agility, and dexterity are all really good. If you get knowledge along the way, then that's even better. As far as substats, I usually just look for physical power or physical damage bonuses. This is how I'm geared after the game that I'm about to show. Before this, I only had white drums, and I was also running a white falchion because my stash is pretty pathetic on this character. This is the one that I use to just have fun and run at people or limit test different builds. And now we get to the fun part, which is the gameplay. Basically for Bard, you want to keep up your 4 buffs at all times: Rousing Rhythms, Beats of Alacrity, Aria of Alacrity, Ballad of Courage. So you'll see me be playing those songs over and over and over again. If you press F between Rousing Rhythms and Beats of Alacrity, it actually cancels the end of the first song and lets you play the second one quicker. So in the spawn that I got, I'm just going to ignore all those zombies at the bottom because that is a very unfun place to be. One's zombie gaskets everywhere and there's spike traps everywhere. So I'm just going to run up the stairs and start clearing up here and get hit by a crossbowman because sometimes I'm very bad at the game. And right here I'm noticing that there is a fighter across the bridge from me. So I'm just going to make sure I heal up and kill the rest of the mobs. And then I'll start to push over to him, or see if he starts pushing me, whichever happens first. And in all honesty, the most annoying part about playing this build is the fact that you have instruments on every single slot that you use. So whenever you want to heal, you actually have to unequip one of them. always make sure that you are buffed and ready to go before starting a fight. I didn't do it the first time I shot the crossbow, but it's fine. And right here I see that he starts to sprint at me. So I'm gonna back up, swap to my crossbow, and make sure I land a shot with that when he jumps in the air. After that, I'll swap to my drum, and I'll just start chucking those. Once I'm out of all my drums, I would Shriek of Weakness and go into melee, but he dies with the first drum, which is great. Wasting a bandage. I'm just going to turn the lights off and sit to recover the last little bit of my health. And then I hear someone running towards me, so I'm going to stand up and swap to my crossbow to try to make sure that I can land a hit with that first. After that, he was actually right up on me, so instead of throwing drums, I just swapped to my falchion. I didn't have time to Shriek of Weakness, so I just started swinging, and that worked out too. Again, if you want to go in the quote-unquote best order possible, you typically want to start with your crossbow, land a shot, throw your drums, and then Shriek of Weakness before going into melee. Sometimes, like in this situation, you do have to skip some steps though. And now that we used our campfire and we're all healed up, we're gonna make sure our crossbow's loaded and start to move around the map more. I usually like to check behind me toward the edge of the zone, because then I know that everyone is either in front of me or to my sides. I know I'm not gonna get ganked unless somebody comes from outside of the zone, which doesn't usually happen. And right here, I hear the archers in the wraith room shooting, so I know that there's someone nearby, and I'm gonna go look around for them. And we did see a barbarian across the way, so after I clear this mob, I'm actually gonna run back over to the bridge and see if I can cut him off as he's heading into the zone. And once again, before fighting, always remember to redo your buffs so you have the longest duration possible. And so now the barbarian starts running at us. So what we're going to do is we're going to kite him with our crossbow and our drums, trying to land as much as we can, because we do not win a full melee fight with a barbarian as a bard. It will almost never happen, so we need to whittle him down the best that we can. So at this point, we shot our crossbow twice, we threw all of our drums, we hit some, we missed others. Now all we can do is use Shriek of Weakness, go into melee, and hope we did enough. We were able to dodge his second felling axe swing, but we didn't need to anyway, because if he hit us, we probably would have lived. It would have been a whole lot closer, but we would have lived regardless. Looking back on this now, I'm also really dumb. He had a ring I could have taken. He had a necklace I could have looked at, but I didn't look at either thing or take either thing. In my head at this time, I was actually just thinking, okay, well, I have some heals I can take and I need to go get my drums. I don't want to get caught into another fight without my drums, so I need to run back out and go grab all of them, so I need to leave space. Ooh, look, a piece of candy. Was I talking about the drum or the actual piece of candy? Let me know what you think in the comments. And so right here, I'm actually just opening this escape portal as a safety net in case I need something to run to. But honestly, I actually want to get into more fights at this point because I'm feeling pretty confident. I killed 3 people. Why not look for some more? Right here, I heard the sound of a dagger last hitting the skeleton, and I really didn't like that because now I'm thinking that there's a rogue. I don't want to just run into where I know a rogue is because they're probably just stealth waiting for me to walk in so they can get me with their ambush proc, which does a lot of damage. And at that point, I'm in melee range. There's a good chance that I will lose the fight. So I actually decided to just leave at this point and run back to the escape portal. And so that's basically just going to be it for this video. I just wanted to go over my thoughts of how to play the class and why I think that the drums and crossbow have been really good for me recently. And I think it's just because even though I don't hit all of my shots, the shots that I do hit matter a little bit more. If you want me to talk about anything else or make any other videos, please just let me know and I will do my best to get any of that out for you. I hope you all have a great day and peace.